enough to knock me out, but I'm still holding the throne. You'll never know till it's over. So pretty it hurts. Just beware of the thorns.
All right, hello everybody. Today I got an interview to show you. I interviewed a British guy who did time in Norway prisons. I think Oslo and Halden is the main ones he was in. And sorry for the overlapping, because there was like a time lapse. So a lot of times when we'd start talking together and cutting each other off, you know. But it's pretty interesting. I got some photos I'm going to show you that he sent of Norway prison cells and the canteen, and I think there's a couple pictures of him, and then there's his bed in his cell. So I hope you enjoy this, and thank you for watching. Yeah. So you get...
Got it.
Yeah. Didn't have record on. Sorry about that. So
yeah, that's okay. So what would you like? What do you like to know?
I'd just like to know about the prison system over there. You know how it was. You know, I see so many things about it, but you know, coming from somebody who's actually did time there, that's a big difference. You know.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, I can let you know. I'd say the justice system there is just as screwed up as it is there.
Oh, really?
Because I'm not going to talk whether I'm guilty, but they didn't prove anything. But that thing beyond reasonable doubt, I don't think they know what beyond or reasonable means. But,
I don't think it's
anyway.
It's like that everywhere. Yeah, I think it's like that.
Yeah, but I didn't moan about it. So,
right. I didn't either.
Yeah, there's nothing to moan about.
Right.
It's the same as the people are people. You don't like people that just moan and complain all the time and poor me and feel sorry for themselves. You just got to make the best of it.
That's right.
But you could have seen in the whole just over 3 years I was in Norway before coming back to the Netherlands. I saw like 3 fights and nobody got really in. One guy had a bloody nose. That was the worst I saw.
Wow.
Because you start with quite a few privileges, you can earn even more, and nobody wants to lose it. If you're getting, say, 80, 90 bucks a week, or say the equivalent because it's more expensive, 40 bucks a week, and good food, they can take that all away. They can put you on bread and water if you don't behave.
Right.
They can put you into the prison where there's only one real high security prison there.
So they
guys that won't behave.
So what they do is they give you incentives for doing good there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And also because apart from Oslo prison, which is really crappy, the other prisons, there's only maximum, it's between 12 and 20 people in the department, and you've got a modern kitchen there. Because some people have never learned how to live in society. So they learn, you can learn how to cook properly. If you get up to the highest trust level, I could walk around the whole prison all day. I was just like bringing coffee to different departments and stuff. Then I'd access to cake and good coffee that I could share.
They don't do that, at least not in Missouri. They just stick you in there, and you're required to work in food.
No, there you forget how to be a human.
Right? Yeah, exactly. That's true.
You still have to. They say mentally strong. I'm probably just too superficial or too dumb to let it get me down.
Right.
They would say, "Oh, you're so mentally tough." I said, "I'm not. I'm just making the best of it. I don't want to be here. But at least you get a chance."
Well, that's what
they say. If they don't learn or if they forget how to live in society, what are they going to do when they get out?
That's true. That's what I've always said about over here. If you stick them out there and they don't know nothing, what are they going to do? You know, they're going to come right back. And
yeah, and when you've got 80% of the people that get released don't go back, instead of costing, I mean, it costs something like $250,000 a year to keep an inmate in like a convict in Norway.
Right.
Instead of them costing the state money, they're out paying taxes. And
right.
I've heard they've cut the budget a bit recently, but it's still, I think, Norway, Finland is pretty. In Finland, they've got a sauna for the prisoners.
Do they really?
Yeah, but it's not necessarily mollycoddling them. It's keeping them human.
Right. Treat them like they're human.
I mean, if they want to send me to England to prison or to USA, I don't think I'd have as much fun.
No, I don't think you would. But see, the American system could learn from the Europeans. I really believe that, you know, and they don't.
Yeah.
You know, because
there was that guy, I forget, was it Michael Moore or someone? He was traveling around the world picking. Why don't the countries just pick the best thing from each country?
That's right.
And then see if it'll work. Because it's not. I know there's a. I don't know why this. The only reason there could be so much violence in the USA. That I haven't been to USA. I'm not allowed to USA now, but I've been to Canada and I've seen that on the normal streets, it's not that violent. It's only in the prisons that it gets really bad. It must be a reflection of how they're treated.
It is. You know, the system wants, in prison in the US, they want everybody against one another, because if everybody's united, then it causes them problems. So they want everybody against one another.
Yeah, if everyone's united, but they're treated fairly. It's, I mean, once we complained about the food, we signed a petition, so they changed the caterers. And but then you're not out. You haven't got to hate. It's not too as much us and them.
Right.
They just got to treat. If the Americans could learn, and other countries too could learn how to treat them like humans, and if everybody's got enough cash, then you're not going to have too many hustles. You're not going to have too much jealousy, because everyone's got about the same, and it's enough. It's not for luxury, but
I don't know how
you can eat well, and you can.
I don't know how it is in Canada, but in the US, the prison is a business. You know, they make.
Yeah, I've seen that.
They make money off of it.
They have sponsors.
Yeah,
of
they
course,
have
they got
sponsors.
almost slave labor. What are you getting, like 30 cents an hour? And
There's some that don't even
that's
make
putting
that much.
decent businessmen out of business.
That's with the best paying job in Missouri, 30 cents an hour. The worst, they get maybe $20 a month. You know, so it's bad.
But the worst you can get in the Netherlands, there is a bit more crappy situations, but everybody's still your right to a single cell. Everyone's got a right to a TV if they behave.
Wow.
If you don't behave, you'll be sleeping on a mattress on the floor with nothing. But everyone's got a flat screen TV and like cable TV.
And they're able to have a cell.
Even here in the Netherlands.
And they're able to have a single man cell if they want it.
Yeah, I in the whole 4 years inside prison, I shared a cell for one night, my first night in the Netherlands, because I turned up too late. And then the next morning they gave me a single, so you can share if you want to. And my last 2 nights in the open prison there is, you can go out to work every day and you go home every weekend, and it's not bad money as well. Then you're getting about $110 a week spending money. I did food during the week.
I did
That's to pay for your weekend. And my probation officer said, you're not supposed to drink during this 1 year, but if you have a few beers on a Friday or a Saturday.
Right.
I mean, with a bit of luck, you'll be able to get a beer in a year or so.
Right. You know, I did a reaction video to this guy in England that served time. And he said,
yeah, I've seen the video. Yeah.
Yeah, he said you could request a single man cell there too. You know, he said they had to give it to him.
Yeah, but there's this. I had to stand up for myself twice in Norway, but it didn't get really violent. It was just one guy, Romanian guy, talking shit, and I was preparing for my case. I hadn't been sentenced yet, because there's no difference between jail and prison there. So I'm preparing for this, and he's talking shit about it. I think that might affect my case. And he was younger, taller, stronger. He could have beat the crap out of me easily. I just grabbed him by the throat and pushed him off his chair, and he just said, "Oh, are you going crazy?" and did nothing.
See,
I don't know why.
Some of them are just all bark. You know
But
what
if
I
I'd
mean?
gone to England, yeah. But if I'd gone to England, I would have had to get in. It's not as bad as in the US, or not as violent as in the US. But there they don't leave the older prisoners, because I was like 51 when I got arrested.
Right.
And
That's amazing.
but yeah, I just yeah. But I'm just saying, to get back on topic, is it's maybe not ideal system there, but before, people have never been to prison, they come up with these things, oh, just don't do a crime, then it's no trouble.
Right.
Because I knew guys that was there for 18 months waiting for court, and they was found not guilty.
Right. You know,
But it works as good as possible.
right. I think it's a better system over there. That's my opinion, you know, and I think the U.S. could learn from that, but they're not going to, because they got a thriving
They got to
business.
realize the deterrent and the punishment is loss of freedom.
Right.
You can't go out to the bar. You can't choose what you're going to eat all the time. You can't see your family all the time. Although there, unless you're a security risk, all visits are in a private room in Norway.
Oh,
So
are
they've
they
got a
really?
bed and a couch. Yeah.
That is
I
amazing.
used to get visits from the Red Cross because I was too far away. I couldn't get any family visits. But in the Netherlands, you can get a conjugal visit once a month once you've been sentenced.
But I
But
mean, like
in
just a
Norway, you
regular
can have
visit,
3 a week if you want.
even a regular visit, it's in a private room. Just a
Yeah,
regular-
just a regular visit. Once they've been cleared, those are a security risk. It's behind the glass thing, but they only had one room with that. I mean, the prison only had 100 people anyway,
Wow.
and it's a good. If you ever, you can have a look at some pictures. If you write that, I'll show you how to spell it later. Eidsberg prison, and then under pictures they show the store, they show the yard. They even made a dance video with the guards and the inmates dancing together.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
That's amazing.
I didn't.
So you got photos?
I would never do it because I can't dance. But
I can't
yeah,
either.
we had a real.
I can't dance
Sometimes
either.
I try anyway, but
Yeah, when nobody's looking.
no,
That's what I did. But
that probably wasn't your priority in 29 years.
no, it's
Oh, I really enjoyed your book.
I'm thank you. I'm glad.
I read your book, so I know what it's like.
Yeah.
And I watched your videos. Yeah, got it on Amazon.
The first prison I was at was, I can't even describe how violent it was, you know. I didn't think I was going to make it out of there, but
Yeah,
it's
I've seen the pictures of it, and the you're talking about it. It's crazy there.
and it's a museum now.
That's illegal what they're doing, even under American law. They've got, what's it, duty of care. They have to. I know they don't, but they're supposed to have to keep you alive.
Well, they
And I
put
can't
you in there
believe
and-
that the food is
It was kinda hard.
they gave you guys. Jesus.
Oh yeah, it was. The food isn't the greatest. I mean, if you had to survive, I guess, you know, you'd eat it. But they give you 2,000
They always
calories a
do.
day, and that's if you ate everything on your all
Yeah.
3 plates, and most people didn't. So you
Yeah,
know,
not for human consumption. Yeah.
yeah.
I was reading some of your later stuff on Quora that you said in the later years you could make friends with black guys there too.
Yeah,
Is that at a prison where it's not a problem?
yeah, it wasn't a problem, you know. They wasn't segregated. The chow hall wasn't segregated or anything, and you really didn't hang out with them, other races, but you could go up and talk to them and stuff, you know, and people might,
But I guess it's not like that everywhere.
right, you know. I had many black friends by the time I left.
We loved it. There's a lot of Somalis in there for small drug dealing in Norway, loads of them. Somali Muslims, and they used to they could cook such good food. They would eat with the white guys and cook for us.
Right, well, we did the same thing.
And
We could cook meals together, like in the cells, you know, and you know, like go to the store and buy some stuff and cook up, make meals. And the Mexicans, we had some Mexicans, and they could really cook. I mean,
oh yeah, I bet they could.
They could, man, but they like that real spicy food, you know. So a lot of stuff they made was kind of spicy. If you like spicy foods,
Yeah, I love spicy. I've never had proper authentic Mexican food, just the stuff you can buy here in the store. There's one guy in Norway, I'm still friends with him, another convict. He was there for tax evasion. There's a stupid law in Norway is if you leave the country and earn money, you owe them the difference in taxes to what you're paying there. And he moved to Thailand, and he smuggled out about $9 million of tax money.
wow.
And he didn't think somebody snitched on him for that. And then when he came back to Norway for a vacation, they arrested him. They gave him 5 years. He had to sit 2.5 because he's got MS. And at court, he's totally honest. They said, well, if you pay back the money, we'll take 4 months off your sentence. He said, I don't want to. That's $9 million. For $9 million, I would go back for 4 months.
Right.
I'm telling you that for nothing.
Let us know when 30 minutes is about up, would you please? I think this stops after like 30 minutes. So, but I don't know if you.
15 more minutes.
We got about 15 more minutes in the interview. But that's awesome.
Yeah, okay. So have you got any more questions?
Yeah. Well, you said you was in 4 different prisons in Norway. Is that what you said?
Yeah, first I was in Oslo prison, and that used to be a brewery. And then on the same site, there's another prison, the old one, the old prison in Oslo. That's easy to find on Google. I think they closed it. They closed it. They might have reopened it, but I was only there for a few months, and they closed it again. That was old style prison, but there was almost no lockdown. You had your own door key. They'd let you out at 7, and you have to be back by 9:45 in the evening in your room.
Was there?
It looked.
Is it true that in Norway there's no walls or fences around the prisons?
Oh no, there's a what? No, that depends what prison. There's one that's on an island, and it's supposed to be high security, but people get boats smuggling beer in for and everything like that. They've got foxes they can pet, but that's only one place. Bastoy it's called. But this one had a big wall, and then when they moved me up to the north, to a place called Orna, they had kind of a huge yard and just a fence. A couple of guys escaped, but you won't survive long in Norway, especially in winter at minus whatever.
Yeah, it's all woods up there too, isn't it? Yeah.
Yeah, and then when I moved, that just had a fence, and the newest one I had just had a fence too. And I mean, I could see the street from my window.
So let me ask you this.
I'll send you some pictures.
Oh, I'd love to see some pictures. So let me ask you this. You think of Norway, you think of it being very cold. So was it?
It is. Yeah, I don't know the Fahrenheit thing. Was it minus? You have to take away 32 at 32. Anyway, it was like 22 degrees Celsius under freezing. And in the winter, we've had 2 weeks where it never gets sunlight at all. In the summer, you get 2 weeks or 3 weeks where the sun doesn't go down.
Oh, wow. That's crazy. And
so, yeah, I didn't like that too much. But
do they have like, you kind of mentioned this a little bit, but I wanted to know more about it. You said something about them teaching you to be a cook or anything. Do they have any other job training things in Norway for like other types of jobs?
You could learn. Yeah, they had a woodworking place with CNC lathes, but for wood, CNC milling machines for wood, a bicycle workshop. If you really want to learn something, then you ask for a transfer to Halden. They got a port, like a auto workshop.
Halden is the one I hear about.
Cycles, you can learn proper.
Halden is the one I hear about the most in Norway. Is Halden?
Yeah, it's a nice place. That actually got a wall, but I wasn't allowed in. When we used to deliver the stuff, the guy used to make me wait outside until he came out again. I've got a picture of me when standing outside, but I've got my face to it, so you can just see the woods behind me. I'll send you some photos and email when we finish.
Yeah, please do. I'll put those on the video too, if you don't mind.
Yeah, sure.
Yeah.
No, I don't mind.
Yeah.
I've nothing to hide. I wouldn't make a video if I had anything to hide. But
I appreciate you doing this video.
yeah, but no, it's okay. I was looking forward to it for a while. There, if you really want to learn a trade, you can go to Halden. You can learn a lot. If you want to learn farming, you go to the north.
See, in Missouri,
if you want to learn an industrial trade, and you don't have to tell your employer if you apply for a job.
oh,
If
wow.
he asks you if you've been to prison, they won't. You're allowed to lie. And I mean, there'd be certain jobs that, like, if you was in for fraud, you can't work for a bank. But
I imagine not.
I could just apply. You just apply for a job. There's anything else? They don't ask.
Oh, wow.
And you get so much support. We had like a case manager when I got to the open prison, and afterwards, and the restrictions, and my probation officer. This is in the Netherlands. They just did everything they could to help me. I didn't have to go there. They would turn up at my place of work, working for a soccer club.
Wow, that's it.
Maintenance, and they would say, "Oh, yeah, but it's too much out of your way, and it takes too much of your time. I can come to you once a month." And they just say, "Is everything okay?"
See, they don't do that here in Missouri. Things like that, you know. You have to take off
They
work
let
to
you
go
out
see
and
the
will just
show.
try to keep you down.
Yeah, you know, they may come by your house once in a while, see you, but
Mainly because they want to search it.
yeah, mainly because they want to search it. But like if you're at work, you got to take off work to go see them, you know. And I had to do
Are
that
you
a few
allowed
times.
to have alcohol in the house then?
No.
Can you
No.
have alcohol in your house at all?
No, that was the
What
main
happens if you've
stipulation.
got someone else that lives there?
They're not allowed to have it
Yeah,
either.
but what
No.
about like your wife or girlfriend?
They can't have it. Nobody in the
Jeez,
house can
they're
have
like-
alcohol.
So they want to. I don't see why, because your conviction wasn't alcohol related. So
But that was the main stipulation: no alcohol. I don't
they
understand.
did
it either.
catch me once in my first prison. They did catch me. I was making alcohol. That I could actually order yeast if I wanted to make bread. So I ordered yeast and got some oranges.
Yeah,
And they caught me. All I had was 8 days of restrictions, so I was only allowed out for 2 or 3 hours a day.
So what do they call that over there when you guys make?
And then
You guys make homemade wine. What you
I
guys?
don't know what it's called in Norwegian.
Do you know what it's called in England?
They just call it hooch.
Yeah, we call it hooch. Yeah,
I think they use the American word. They'll just say hooch.
yeah.
Or you'll have to ask to someone that's been to prison in England. I can only speak from these soft prisons here.
Now I found out from
And
watching, talking to other people that in some states it's called pruno, but in Missouri we call it hooch.
yeah, I've read about it.
Yeah,
Yeah, I've read about it. I just know the word hooch.
yeah.
We stole that from you guys across the pond, and it was, but it was no big deal. There's one older officer that's been like an officer for 25 years. He was shouting jokes at me. He said, "I knew you had it," but
But yeah,
he didn't care.
but you know, you was talking. We was
You
talking.
probably
about
got
we was talking about the first.
you probably
prison
got the
I
same.
was
There's some. Oh yeah, carry on.
in. Do what? What'd you say?
That's okay. I'll let you talk.
No,
No,
I was just saying-
just saying this. There's some officers in the States that don't care.
right. It's true. There's some that don't. You know, they just want to do their 8 hours and go home. You know.
Yeah.
They don't care what you're doing as long as you ain't killing one another. You know. Because they just want to do their 8 hours a day and then go home. You know, and so they really don't care. You know, they catch you doing something minor. Hey, you know, don't do that on my shift. You know, and they'll go on.
Don't make them do paperwork.
Yeah, don't make them do paperwork. I had them tell me that when they caught me drunk one time. You need to get to your cell, and I don't want to see you the rest of the day. Don't make me do paperwork. You know.
Yeah, that's fair though. That's good. Then leave him alone.
Yeah. But Those guards back there, though, at that first prison, they kind of had a hard time protecting people because they was kind of protecting themselves too, you know, because everybody was violent. You know, the guards were violent. Prisoners trying to kill each other, trying to kill the guards beating them. It was just a bad place.
I was wondering I was wondering what it would be like there, though, if the same prisoners, they'd put them in a small department with just 10 or 12 people.
It'd be a lot different.
Treated them fine. Would they have all been violent or not?
I don't think so. And they did.
I mean, once a place gets violent, it's hard to get rid of it.
Right.
Because it keeps up, that's part of their life then. But it's hard to stop it once it starts, but just prevent it.
Well, they found out that prisons that have air conditioner, there's less violence. Now, Missouri State Penitentiary didn't have air conditioning. And so in the summertime, the violence would go up, you know.
Yeah, it's the same in the cities when it's too hot. Like outside, the violence goes up. With people, you get in a bad mood, you get grumpy, you're fed up, you serve shit food.
Hot and sweaty and irritable.
I'll tell you one thing that's international, though, is the medical is just as crappy there, I think.
Oh, really?
I'd had some troubles with my shoulder, raised my arm for about 2 years, and he said, "Oh, I've had a look at it. There's nothing we can do." 2 years of pain. I came out to see my regular doctor. He gave me a little injection, and like 3 days later, I was fine.
Oh, wow. I would have thought they would have great medical.
So that's international.
I would have thought the medical would have been great over there.
It's in the ladies' prison it was, because if I had to go to the dentist, and they just took me out to the dentist, and before I walked in, we say, "We'll take your handcuffs off so that it's not embarrassing, but don't run."
Yeah, when I went to the hospital, when I went to the hospital, they had me handcuffed and legs chained, and they put me in a wheelchair and covered me with a blanket, thinking that nobody would know. Well, you know, they're pushing me. Guards are pushing me. They're knowing who I am.
I'll tell you what. Before we finish, I'll say one thing is I was in Stavanger Hospital for one night, and there was 2 policemen outside my door, but there was a connecting room to the bathroom to another room, and I could have just walked off if I'd wanted to.
Wow.
So I walked out that other door and then walked up to the policeman and said, "By the way, you better lock that door." But after that, they trusted me, and it was great.
That's awesome.
I think I only had handcuffs on 3 times there. It was.
Well, how much time we got left now?
It was a good life.
About 3 minutes.
All right, we got about 3 minutes. I'm going to go ahead and close this. I'm going to try to get this out tomorrow.
Yeah, okay.
Friday. I'm going to try to get it out Friday, and so be looking for it.
Good. I'll send you the photos.
Yeah, I would love to see the photos. All right. You have a good one, and thanks for letting me interview you.
Yeah, you too. Thanks. It's nice to finally get to talk to you.
Yeah, it was. Bye.
Yeah, okay. Bye, buddy. Bye.
Bye.